I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow. Fading away, you look so great when you gotta shine. One more part of you is gone now, as you keep smiling at the crowd. Pressure is your best enemy, spotlights show what I wanna see. Sometimes it feels like you're under attack, you just can't break free. I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow. I'll be there when you fall, when you're losing it all, in the afterglow, in the afterglow.
Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, the site of this weekend's WWE festivities, starting with the Smackdown, Security Detail, and Smackdown. It's Chris Best, Chris Parrish, and OM Dynamic here. I've got AJ Styles walking into the building here, and I'm so looking forward to tonight's show.
Okay, so I've got Drew McIntyre walking in now, carrying, of course, the WWE Championship. How are you gentlemen doing this evening?
Doing well.
Yeah, doing well. Looking forward to, like I said, this weekend's events.
Yes. As we are getting a recap of last Saturday night and Saturday night's main event from Montreal, Quebec, Canada.
For some reason, I feel like last Saturday felt like ages ago.
Right?
And yeah, we do know that from that show, Sami Zayn will be challenging Drew McIntyre tomorrow at the Royal Rumble, which, just to let everybody know, 8 p.m. Eastern Time for the PLE Patrol tomorrow for that Royal Rumble. We're aware. It's early. Guess what world? We don't get up that early and stay awake. We nap during the day, okay? So that's why it's at 8 p.m. because, we need our nap time. Well,
especially me lately.
Okay, good. I was right for putting at both sides of the.
I can have a nap at work at my desk.
Way to work at work.
Exactly.
Well, like us normal people, we actually work at work.
And isn't it funny that he works at a mattress store?
It's called product knowledge, guys.
To be fair, I have talked with OMD about the products he does sell, and he is very knowledgeable.
Well, it sounds like he's well informed on how they work. But speaking of how they work, we do get a little recap of all of the Saturday night main events. What was your favorite match coming out of Saturday night main event?
The Fatal 4-Way was my favorite. And I say that because I've gone back and watched it again, so...
I got to go back and AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura.
And we're going to all have 3 different answers because I thought that women's tag match was just unreal and just well done. So,
I mean, to be honest, the entire show is probably already my most favorite show of the year.
I mean, there's been a handful so far this year. So.
Yeah.
Until tomorrow.
Yeah, because I'm biased to the Royal Rumble. So.
Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, we are aware that this show was aired earlier in the day, so we do ask for no spoilers, please, in the chat.
Well, as the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes makes his way out to the ring right now. I gotta say, I love the stage.
Yeah. It's a very WrestleMania-esque stage for the Royal Rumble here in Riyadh.
Well,
You
it's
might-
Saudi Arabia for you. They go all out.
Yeah. You might even say it's WrestleMania 9 like, considering the arena was all built just for these events.
Yep.
What I love about Cody Rhodes is you can tell he's been out in the sun because he looks awfully tanned. Either
Yeah.
that or he's been hanging out with newly acquired Matt Cardona for too long. And unlike his wife, Chelsea Green, might actually be riding with them and helping him out with the tanning solution.
Well, I mean, Braun Breaker is known for his tanning as well, but we don't know if the Vision is at SmackDown tonight.
Well, there's also the Miz, who's also been known to spray tan as well.
Yep.
But we got Wade Barrett and Michael Cole on the commentary team.
Does anybody else think that one dude in the green in the front row looks like an older version of Giovanni Vinci?
Oh my God, he did.
I don't know, but I do know that green shirt guy is in Riyadh.
I'm glad of all information. That's what you decided to learn.
That is
before the
what I
broad-
decided.
Yes.
He's not
This just in, people. 3 + 3 is 6.
Yes, yes, it is.
He's not sitting in his usual spot, though.
Ah. He doesn't have the hookups in Saudi.
No.
He's fired.
Cody has the stick. It is time to, well, let him milk this a little bit more.
I gotta say, I like the different look of this whole venue. Like,
Yeah.
I think this is the first time SmackDown has been in a stadium, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
Unless they've done SmackDown in Saudi before, though, haven't they?
Yes.
Not in this building, though.
No.
Cody bringing back the what do you want to talk about, as I think it's quite obvious we all have that Rumble fever.
I know for sure I do.
Now, where would you peg Cody Rhodes' chances on winning the Royal Rumble this year?
I have to say, he comes in probably in that 17 spot. He might make the top 5, and then he's gone.
Okay, so who would you have eliminating Cody Rhodes?
That's a tough one, and I'm going to go with the guy he eliminated to win his second Royal Rumble, that being Gunther.
I'm going to go with Jacob Fatu eliminating him to further that feud. But I do think he makes it into at least my final five, and that would also put Jacob in that spot as well. But at the same time, Cody could be that one shocking elimination we get every year. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Now I have a feeling we're gonna get something in the Rumble between Cody and Jacob at some point. Whether or not that has a factor of eliminations, I'm not sure. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing them maybe eliminate each other out of this Rumble to keep that thing going, because I was thinking about this on my way home. What if Sami Zayn is to win the title, and with Cody and Jacob there, you have Drew there. What happens if at Elimination Chamber it is for the Undisputed Championship and these four men, and maybe you add like a Randy Orton as well, and then maybe a Trick Williams or somebody else, and that could be your Elimination Chamber match.
Right. Well, to Best's point and to yours, because I do see, and I actually was going to suggest the double elimination of Cody and Jacob. But we also had that history, and we've never got the answer as to who took out Jacob Fatu when he was injured.
We actually did. Jacob Fatu said Randy that it was Drew McIntyre who kicked his teeth down his throat a couple weeks ago.
But Drew McIntyre also said it wasn't him.
Yeah. So we've never gotten the blow off to that. So could we escalate that feud heading into WrestleMania with Cody and Jacob maybe having another match to determine that contender?
I am with you. I do think, and to like kind of combine what you two were saying, I do think Jacob does think it's Drew. I do think Drew knows it's not him. I do think there's something more to this, and that's why we haven't seen much towards that story, because it's not like WWE to kind of leave those kind of things untold or unfinished. So I do think we're going to see an eventual conclusion to that, because it goes back to that Jade Cargill who took you out thing, and they did eventually go back, and we got our finale, our answer to all that. So
see, and I mean, even the same thing with Austin when he got ran over in '99. We put that on the back burner until Austin was ready to come back later that October the following year.
See, and I think the way they're going to build this up, Jacob realizes and knows that it probably wasn't Drew. This was just sort of part of that build. And then he's going to identify who did it.
Unless the person who did do it disguised themselves as Drew to make them think it was Drew, to take them away from them. And that's why I'm kind of wondering, maybe it was Cody after all this, and Cody disguised himself to be Drew, and this is maybe a catalyst to that Cody heel turn. I'm just kind of putting out things that's, even though I wouldn't want Cody to be a heel right now, I think we wait till maybe later in the year, if that. But if you're going to go that way, I mean, you could really make Jacob Fatu kind of your Stone Cold-esque type guy.
Yeah.
And again, that's to like kind of combine both of what you guys are saying. And kind of,
I was going to go the exact same route, because I think it was Cody. I'm even going to go so far as to say Cody may not have been the guy who pulled the trigger on it, but Cody is the brains behind it. And I was going to pull out another name, and Cody's associate, friend, and our SmackDown general manager, Nick Aldis, being the guy to pull the trigger on.
I mean, if
that just sounds like you're going with Rikishi and Triple H, essentially.
well, I think this could very well lead to like maybe Randy Orton doing, as we see Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes in the same ring right now. We know their history with Legacy. This could be like a Cody Rhodes version of Legacy, where maybe he has, say, his friends in, say, Cardona, Ricky Sates, people that he has kind of his like the next guy up, and then the guy for the future. Even though that kind of sounds weird because Ricky Saints is older, he's still newer to the WWE group.
Right.
But I was even thinking, if the rumors are true with him coming over from Japan, would this not be a great way to bring in Evil as kind of the henchman for Cody Rhodes?
Right.
I kind of like that too.
I was going to say, I mean, and I'll play a little bit of nepotism, but if you want to go that legacy route with Rhodes, Cardona, Starks, and potentially an Orton, given the history, what if they started doing that and they get Flair and Arn's blessing to become the new Horseman?
Because I think we all can admit nobody wants to see another 4 horsemen ever again. I don't want to see another Legacy. I'm just saying Legacy-esque in the same scenario of, since it works with what we're seeing in the ring.
I mean, in essence, when you add like a new and you use an old tag team's name, it tends to fail. I mean, look at the new Blackjacks, the new Midnight Express, the new Rockers, all failed.
I have the Blackjacks action figures. They're awesome. I don't know who's who, but I have them. I even have one of the old Justin Hawk Bradshaws, and I'm like, okay, are you one of the? And I'm like, I can't tell. Yeah. You do gotta love the fire out of Randy Orton, though, giving Cody Rhodes that warning.
Well, no, I think we're going to have a ring full of Rumble winners in this segment, because here comes Jey Uso now.
I love how he's running to the ring. Somebody must have told him there's an after party, so he's like going.
getting his cardio in for the day.
He's sporting his big brother Jim with that T-shirt.
Still no word on where he's been, right?
I think on a podcast Jay did mention it. I don't know the reason, but I'm gonna have to assume the obvious, and that's something to do with Naomi's pregnancy. I could find it out because I know there was something out there just the last couple of days.
Yeah, I assume the same thing because I did the math, and we're not far off from Naomi giving birth to their child.
Yeah, they haven't actually he didn't really say anything specific, but it does sound like he's just, being with his wife and their soon to be child.
And now we get Sami Zayn making his way out to the ring.
Well, there goes the Rumble winners. Although Sami Zayn is undefeated in Saudi Arabia, so we talk about the fact that Drew's 11-0 against him. He's never been champion. Nobody talks about the fact that he's undefeated in Saudi Arabia.
This is true.
I believe he's like 3 or 4 now?
Something like that. Now,
Think so?
given that Sammy does have the world championship match tomorrow, depending on the placement on the card, could we see Sammy come in later on in the Rumble? We have seen him enter at number 30 already, so I wouldn't put him in that spot again.
I think that's more dependent on where the men's Rumble is actually placed on the card.
Well, and that's the thing. I have a feeling the men's Rumble will be the main event because we do have to remember that Gunther's pulling double duty tomorrow, and then he does have that singles match with AJ. And from everything I've read, that match is going to be obviously before the Rumble. So I can very much see that tomorrow starting off with AJ and Gunther, then probably going into the women's Rumble, then you're going to the title match, and then the men's Rumble. That is my early guess. I don't
see. I have to admit, I'm thinking they're going to keep rolling with tradition. They're going to open with the women's Rumble. You go to AJ Gunther, you go to the title match, you go to the men's Rumble.
I'm almost ready for the women's Rumble to headline another Rumble event. So
I'm with you. I will say, I don't know if Saudi Arabia is the place to do it, though.
No, I know.
But it might actually be. When you think about the woman evolution and how WWE is using women at Saudi Arabia and how I believe it was Alexa Bliss, and I'm trying to remember who she was against. I want to say Lacey Evans was the first match. Yeah, that's a memory right there. But the women have come a long way to get more and more onto Saudi Arabia shows. This could be the right time to do it. And WWE is known to kind of just say, F it, we're doing it.
This is true.
Does anybody else love the fact that Sami Zayn's wearing like the most generic sweater of all time? Cody has this like amazing, like, hey, look at me. I'm making, like, I look like I should have been cast for American Psycho kind of gear going on. Jay has his normal like ooh shirt and, chill out stuff. Randy's just like, shirt and pants kind of thing. Probably has his gear underneath. Then Sammy's like, yeah, I'm going to read a novel and then I'm going to do bedtime stories with my kid.
Well, they didn't call he wasn't El Generico for nothing.
That's never been confirmed. I wonder, and I have a theory, that El Grande Americano was El Generico. Well, they are at SmackDown. I can see clearly now the vision's here.
Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and call it, but I'm gonna bet we're getting a 8-man tag match here or something.
Yeah. Why does it seem like these are all the people who didn't get the part for Sons of Anarchy?
Actually, Logan Paul does look like right now. He does look like one of the cast members. He looks like a prospect from season 1.
There he looks like a prospect too.
He does.
All they need is Bully Ray with them, and they can become new aces and eights.
That is such an underrated, awesome faction, though.
I will agree to that to a degree because I felt like that faction didn't have really a direction.
Well, Logan has shown that he either has a couple abs or that he's mic'd up or a little bit of both. And although Logan Paul claims that he was the first ever mic'd up wrestler, I do want to give a shout out to Jose Zamora, who actually was the first wrestler to be mic'd up. I mean, yeah, 8-man tag seems fine, but I kind of want to see Randy and Braun Breaker.
And we get our 8-man tag.
I actually thought that Nick Aldis was going to throw a swerve in there and be like, let's make this an 8-man rumble or something. But if you were to do something like that, I think you would have to put something on the line that would tie to tomorrow's event.
Yeah. And that's where you could go to what you've been clamoring for, Mr. Best, the number 1 and the number 30 spot.
But here's the thing: Sami Zayn is not in the Rumble,
So
that almost kind of can't work because, say he wins the match and the stipulation is whoever wins gets 30. And he's like, well,
yeah, that's true too. It would also spoil that he wouldn't be winning the title tomorrow.
he's like, I'm just going to unify the titles because it's never been done in history, right?
Have him win the Rumble, enter at number 30, and win the Rumble.
Hmm.
Then he can go to WrestleMania and
take on Punk.
Challenge an injured Kevin Owens.
Why? Oh, dear Lord.
Methinks that OMD's been drinking from the Vince Russo booking.
I was going to say, like, bro, I'm having alcohol. What's your reason? Pepsi. You're drinking Pepsi and you don't throw out a CM Punk reference? Come on, man.
I was the one who threw out the Punk reference, and I'm drinking Canada Dry tonight.
This is why we can't have nice things, man. But we can have other things. Like, amazing merchandise that you can find on turnbucklestudios.org/shop. That's right. If you want to go to our beautiful website, you get to buy merch. Why do you want to buy merch? Because it's how we make money. So check this out and see what you can buy.
The Turnbuckle Studios store is open for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the merch and represent the best from the shows you watch on a weekly basis. Multiple styles to choose from with over 10 products available. Don't get left out and pick up all your favorites today. Find us at turnbucklestudios.org.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Turnbucklestudios.org/shop. Buy the merch. Support your favorite shows. Support your favorite podcasters. Wear what we wear. All of the proceeds come back into our studios to bring you a better experience. While you're at turnbucklestudios.org, meet the team. Mr. Best, Mr. Parrish, myself, Bubba Duke, and Carl Carafel. Get our socials, watch our latest weekly live episodic shows under the host section. And as well, ladies and gentlemen, hit the join button, send us your credentials, tell us how you believe you can help us, how you feel we can help you. And we can sit down as a collective to figure out the best fit. Turnbucklestudios.org for all your Turnbuckle affiliation program needs.
And right now we've got Mello in the ring, getting ready to defend his United States title. But against who?
Bob Backlund.
Can you imagine if Backlund actually showed up?
Oh. Interesting.
It is Ray Phoenix, ladies and gentlemen.
This ought to be a great match.
He said his name kind of weird. Could say Phoenix, like the city.
Yeah, but that's not actually how it's pronounced.
Well, I mean, Phoenix. It's kind of like the tomato. I just rather squash it and say ketchup.
I got to wonder if in this match, because I do expect this to be a fantastic match, but I got to wonder if The Miz finds his way to get involved again, just like he did last week on Mello.
Well, if he does, I would assume we would see Ilya Dragunov, as it was Miz who kind of cost Ilya Dragunov that opportunity last week. So, but I mean, you're kind of you're giving me the idea of like, we're talking about a world heavyweight championship, universal championship in the chamber. Maybe we go United States title in the chamber, and we do, for the first time ever, an open challenge chamber match.
I love it.
Yeah, that's a really interesting concept.
Yeah. Come on, WWE. I got the ideas, man. Roman Reigns said on the McAfee show, got to keep the creative. Well, guess what? Got to think outside the box.
I've got several ideas for the chamber. Like one of them, I'm now on board with wanting to see another tag team chamber match, but I want to see a women's tag team chamber match for the titles. And I'm basing that on what we're seeing over the last few weeks with the women's tag team titles and how there's like a number of women's tag teams that are gunning after them right now.
Yep.
I still want to see, for the women's title, TLC with 6 women tag teams.
Yeah.
I want WWE to announce Evolution 3, and I want to see for the first time ever for the women's tag titles TLC.
Yeah. I'm behind that 100%.
Let's just make Evolution a yearly show.
I'd be all right with that.
Oh, really smart move by Phoenix, kicking the arm of Mello so he doesn't actually get that strike. Just a Mello got.
I gotta say, I love the confidence of that we're seeing out of Mello these last few weeks.
I mean, this is exactly what I remember when Carmelo Hayes came to WWE and he debuted in NXT, and a lot of people were that I knew from the Boston area who knew him from the independent scene are just saying, yeah, like the confidence in this kid is amazing. He's an athlete, natural athlete. Like you're going to be in shock and awe. And we've seen that, and we're seeing that.
Right.
But now I think he has finally taken that next step of being not just comfortable on the main roster, but you can tell he has it all together. And now that he's finding that stride to kind of go with it, we're seeing consistency out of Carmelo Hayes at a top level now. And I think it's just a matter of time before we say Carmelo Hayes should be a Money in the Bank winner or a King of the Ring winner or a Royal Rumble winner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, after this run with the US title, do you see him putting himself into that world title picture? And those are the best avenues for him to go down to get into that picture.
I would say moving him over to Raw and put him in the Intercontinental picture. I think I really do think a lot of people kind of need that fresh look. I mean, you're getting some of the best competition over the United States title when we think about, there was Sami Zayn, Ilya Dragunov, Ray Phoenix. He's been in the ring with Johnny Gargano and and everyone from Fraxium. Then you got Matt Cardona. You got Kit Wilson, who is now just absolutely finding that lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
Like the mid card in SmackDown is exact. Like when we're talking about the SmackDown 6 back in the early 2000s,
Yeah.
talking about how good it was, we can go back and we can talk about that in the current aspect because the women tag team solid, the women division is getting solid again, the mid card is solid, and now the title picture is solid. Like there's a reason why a lot of people are saying SmackDown is the best show that WWE has, is because even though it's a third hour now, top to bottom, there's nothing that is bad quality.
Yeah.
Or even a drop off.
And to be fair, I'm actually kind of glad that they went back to that third hour, because when they were doing the 2 hour thing, it kind of felt like the show was moving at a bit of a breakneck speed and not allowing things to breathe a little bit. And that's what we're getting now with these 3 hour shows.
Yeah.
I do think like the third hour on SmackDown is so essential because we're getting obviously the matches that we're getting, but also the length of the mid-card matches just shows you, it gives the audience an opportunity to really get invested in the performer that much more.
Yeah.
And because of that, you're able to connect, and then you want, right? And when the audience wants that person to maybe move up, I mean, I felt the exact same way about Randy Orton when he was Intercontinental Champion. And you're like, this is just a matter of time before he's going up. And then by the time he got there, you can tell he was a different competitor.
Yeah.
And then you look at him now, and it's just insane of the growth.
Yep. Well, I mean, more often than not, and Best, you and I discuss this on a weekly basis. This match here, the U.S. Open Challenge, is often the match of the night.
It most certainly is. And going back to the 3 hour, how we moved to the 3 hour format, one of the things I am really enjoying is seeing talent that we normally wouldn't see, because on under the 2 hour brand, sure, we would see Kit Wilson, but we'd always see him in like a backstage segment and not really like see him come to the ring and showcase what he can do in the ring.
Right.
No, but what we were getting to at that time was we're getting a lot of backstage Carmelo segments as well, not in ring. Where that is that's his bread and butter. With Kit Wilson is entertainment over wrestling.
Yeah.
I think we all can agree. We're not saying he's bad at wrestling, but we are just saying his pro is entertainment.
I thought Mello had him on that springboard DDT there.
Yeah. But now we just get a backstage segment and it evolves to something else with that 3rd hour. You have the opportunity and the option now to do just a little bit more. And now you're able to kind of gauge with your audience what they want. Do you like what you're seeing?
Yeah.
And then if that's the case, you give it back. You do it again. You give them more and more. And that's the thing. You have to understand what's connecting with the audience. And right now it seems like just about everyone on SmackDown are finding a way to do so, whether it's a match, a segment, or even a combination of both.
Yeah, they are. The one guy, and I'm going to say this, and I'm a huge fan of the guy, but that I find has lost momentum since moving to SmackDown is Damian Priest. I know they're working to try and build him back up and get him back into the title picture, and I'm great with that.
I honestly do think it's because when he was on Raw, everything was Judgment Day.
Yeah.
And they were so heavily featured in segments that we saw character development just with him in the backstage segments.
And Mello just successfully retained his United States title.
I'm still at the point where we'll get back to Priest. But I want to know who's going to take the title off Mello. I'm very curious because this is now 4 straight babyface champions.
Yep.
Or is it no? It's 3. 3. With Sammy, Ilya, Carmelo. It's pretty wild when we think Solo Sikoa was the last heel United States champion.
And now we get Ilya Dragunov versus The Miz tonight.
I like how Miz is planting the seeds of doubt in Ilya Dragunov by saying that he actually worked with Mello. And it's very clear, I don't think Mello did work with The Miz on that last week. So
no, and I was gonna almost say I love the attempt because I didn't see Ilya Dragunov go for it, as he flat out said whether or not you're working with him or not.
Yeah.
Interfered in my match, and he went straight back to the point. And I just thought that was Ilya Dragunov is just hitting on so many points right now, and you have to just now put it in your mind that I mentioned Randy Orton. Ilya Dragunov, I think, is going to be the first person out of those babyface champions where we're going to say he's going to be the first multi-time world champion out of the three. I think he's ready. I think he's the one ready right now to have that move up. I don't think it's Sami Zayn, and I don't think it's Carmelo, although I am not sold that Drew McIntyre is walking out tomorrow with the championship.
Okay.
Because right now we're looking at the Pat McAfee show, and when Brock Lesnar announced his intention to be in the Royal Rumble, despite this coming after Adam Pearce said to Finn Balor that the Royal Rumble is full.
Yes, but let's also clarify, we don't know when Brock Lesnar was told the information.
Mm-hmm.
And two, are you going to tell Brock Lesnar he's not in?
No. To be fair, I wouldn't.
And three, wearing a good Motorhead shirt Brock Lesnar was.
I kind of find it funny, though, that he called in while McAfee was talking about the Bill Belichick thing.
I could also
Lesnar,
tell you.
I mean.
I could also tell you where Brock Lesnar was. He was in Calgary. I can tell you for a fact he's in Calgary. His son plays hockey, and there's a big tournament there.
Yeah. But we're getting a little bit of an old school segment here with the wrestlers picking their numbers. Something we used to get in the older Rumbles back in the late 80s, early 90s. We used to get these little segments of wrestlers coming in and picking their numbers.
Hey, we've had them.
Even in the 2000s, we got them.
Don't you remember where Eddie Guerrero stole Ric Flair's ball?
I literally was just going to say that. He also stole Ric Flair's wallet in that segment, too.
Yes, he did.
And all these things are just about R-Truth making ball jokes. And then Nick Aldis went with it, which was very, very funny.
Yeah.
I love how, like, on Monday they're in Toronto. There's like 1 billion feet of snow. Now there's backstage segments outside because it's just nice outside.
Well, to be fair, the entire stadium is outside, so
I know, but like they're clearly not. Drew and Kathy Kelly are clearly not in the arena right now.
Mm-hmm. It's actually a nice change of pace, though, from just seeing them standing in a random spot in the locker room talking.
Well, I mean, it's also a great way to showcase the city of Riyadh and just have WWE say, oh, yeah, by the way, this is what we do when we're here. We'll showcase every part of your city. So give us more money and we'll sign a new deal with you guys.
Yeah.
I love how everyone in the hillside's like mad. And then in some shape, way, or form, almost everyone except for Cody is giving you some sort of a smile.
As speaking of Cody, we're looking at the What Do You Want to Talk About podcast, which has The Undertaker on it. And then vice versa, 6 Feet Under with The Undertaker is going to have Cody Rhodes on it.
Yeah, and then we see the Raw recap that has special guest Big E. And then we also, What's Your Story, Stephanie? She has Trish Stratus. And then Impulsive has Lil Yachty, because we need to know what they talked about.
I literally said that on, I think it was on Monday when they announced that. I'm like, I don't care about that.
To be fair, Logan Paul is not a straight up wrestling show, whereas the other are. So, I mean, to be fair on that aspect.
Yeah, and I get it. Like they're promoting it, and it is a celebrity endorsement in a way. So,
Although Logan Paul is now a full-time wrestler, and we have to give him that status. I mean, to be fair, he does work more dates than Roman Reigns now. We can argue that. But right now we have Io and Rhea talking to Julia and Kiana James, who are now the number one contenders to the women's tag team championships.
I was kind of hoping with that backstage promo that we'd get like an announcement for when Julia and Kiana are going to challenge for the women's tag titles.
Right.
I do believe it's probably going to be either next week or the week after. I do think it's a SmackDown match.
Yeah. As we do now see Charlotte Flair making her way to the ring.
I'm very confused by the twirling logo of the C, because when it goes the other way, it almost looks like the number 3. And I'm trying to find out why 3 would have a meaning. With Charlotte.
3-time Royal Rumble winner?
She's
Nope.
only a 2-time.
The only
She's
one
not-
who's
Yes, but that could be her saying, I'm going to be a 3-time Royal Rumble winner.
But she's had it for a while now.
mm-hmm.
She had it last year.
Oh, this is the first time I've noticed it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, to be fair, this stage is huge, so we're seeing everything. Like,
Yeah.
but because normally on like the name graphic there, you just see the diamond, but like now, like there's that C. But like, I'm even wondering, like, it's probably not even a 3, but it just looks like one. So I'm just curious, like, what would a 3 entail?
So as we were looking at the graphic for the women's Royal Rumble match and that backstage promo, the one thing I can't help but notice, but I think the story going into this women's Royal Rumble match is going to be the women's tag teams who are featured in the match.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost like a survival tactic too in the women's division now. You almost have to have somebody by your side just to get kind of by.
Yeah.
Because there's always a numbers game wherever you look. And I think that's kind of just showcases how dangerous being a woman on your own is in the WWE right now.
Yeah, I think the only woman that doesn't have any allegiance with anybody would be Becky.
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody else right now.
Well, in terms of having a woman by their side, you now go to Natty and Maxine.
But Natty's not with Maxine though.
No, that's what I'm saying. They
Yeah,
don't
so,
have
like-
somebody by their side.
Yeah, I guess you can say because Maxine's on her own too. Essentially, she's got Otis and Tozawa, but
Yeah.
it's not like they can do anything.
I mean, it's pretty easy to like just figure out like who's all in it if you just think of that the tag teams or the groups mentality. You're gonna get probably close to 85% of everyone. What I love is when they're talking to each other, the fans are just on every single word. They're hanging on. As we just said, like, I don't think you're listening, and the fans react all the way. Like, is this the time? It's like everyone's expecting them to break up. And this is giving me very much like the Bailey Lyra vibes. So, like, what if they don't? And the fans are just like really just there all the time. And it's fun with the Rumble because the Rumble gets like just,
Yeah.
with that.
And it's actually just occurred to me that, yeah, like the reason why like everybody thinks that there's going to be a breakup somewhere soon between them is just the little microaggressions they throw at one another, and it's actually pretty funny.
But here and now we have the women of the Judgment Day.
I'm not gonna lie, I did not realize it was a tunnel, and I love it. I love how Liv is just putting out the Dom gear right now. Oh, there is so much about this segment that I just think is fantastic.
Well, Nick Aldis has just announced a tag team match, playa.
Yes, he has.
But who's going one-on-one with The Undertaker?
Finn Balor.
Spot's full.
But yeah, it's Roxanne Perez and Liv Morgan. I got to expect that Stephanie Becerra still makes her presence in this match because of what's going on with her and Raquel.
Totally. Right. And I think if we haven't got it by now, the show is clearly not a regular SmackDown. It's more of a just
all hands on deck type of situation.
It's like we're just gearing up for tomorrow, and this is just a hey Riyadh, let's have some fun tonight.
Yeah.
This is to me, this is what a go home show would look like before we had the draft.
Is it just me, or should all like should every Raw and SmackDown before a PLE be this way?
Yes.
Yes. Because it allows you to hammer home all of the stories that are going into that weekend's PLE.
Or like at the very least, the major ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like any ones that have like combination matches like a Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank, Queen or King of the Rings,
Yep.
Survivor Series with War Games,
chamber matches.
SummerSlam.
WrestleMania.
Yep.
Well, I think WrestleMania and SummerSlam are like the two, like getting obviously like
Mhm. Ooh, Axiom and Gargano later tonight.
I love how on Gargano's graphic it just says ARG. Yeah, we still have three matches tonight, and that Gargano and Axiom. We got Ilya and The Miz, as well as that 8-man tag, as we're getting the tag team match right now.
And I have to imagine with that Gargano Axiom situation with Nathan Frazier being involved, and now that Tommaso Ciampa is all elite, I got to imagine Gargano is going to find himself a new partner to work through that situation with.
I really wonder if they're going to unite him with The Miz.
Which I suggested last week as well.
Like, just put all the Cleveland people together.
The Miz, Johnny Gargano, and Logan Paul.
Managed by Drew Carey.
You're not going to take out Candice LeRae for Drew Carey.
I didn't say I was going to take her out.
Well, you didn't mention her.
Touche. Roxanne Perez once again stalking Alexa Bliss on the outside. And for those that don't remember, ladies and gentlemen, Roxanne Perez entered the Royal Rumble last year in the number 3 spot and was the last person eliminated.
By Charlotte Flair, her opponent.
Yes. Yep. And that's something that they do in Royal Rumbles is they do play off past Rumbles and sometimes they'll repeat segments or sometimes you'll see the eliminated wrestler from the previous Rumble get some sort of a revenge. And that's something that we could see in tomorrow night's Women's Rumble match, especially with all these teams vying for the women's tag titles.
Yes.
I mean, you have to kind of wonder if the mentality is sticking with your teammate. I mean, that's going to go well for a while.
Yeah.
But we all always know that they're not going to last.
No.
Yeah.
And I have to ask because I don't remember. I know Roxanne and Liv Morgan is Raquel in the Rumble as well?
Yeah.
Yes.
So the Judgment Day very much needs to work on these number games, but the one thing they got to look on very well is to find some common ground with some people, because if they don't, it's going to be very easy for teams to team up. And if two teams team up, they're already outnumbering the Judgment Day.
Yes.
And that's where if I'm the Judgment Day, I probably go to the Kabuki Warriors to help me out.
We'll see. And if I'm the Judgment Day, I go to Nia Jax and Lash Legend.
That's where I was thinking too. Nia Jax had a performance of a lifetime last year. She, I believe, got the single most eliminations in a Rumble last year.
Yep.
And then you have Lash Legend now, who could very well break out in a dominant form this year.
Now that was some old school wrestling right there with them rolling around the mat like that.
Not exactly what I had in mind, but I mean, it was probably something that Carl Carafel would have loved to watch. And we'll just leave it at that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to ask the obvious question because I think we're all thinking it. But is there going to be a time where we see WWE in Saudi Arabia and the women get to wear what they want?
I think so, but I think we're still a little bit of a ways off from that.
Yeah. I'm going to say yes. I'm thinking probably at the very earliest, probably 5 years from now.
Is Roxanne bleeding, or is that just her makeup running or something?
Oh, no, she's bleeding.
Oh, yeah. I just saw Charles Robinson put the gloves on.
Oh, yeah, no, she's bleeding. I think it's her nose. I
Now, we know that a lot of these women do have prior history with other women. There's Charlotte and Becky who have history in the Rumble, Alexa and Nia, Bailey and the Kabuki Warriors, Io Sky. Do we see those old alliances play into this, or do we see those become targets immediately?
Well, that's another thing that we usually see in the Royal Rumble is old alliances becoming becoming rivalries again, or we see old rivalries reignite because of the Rumble as well. As we got Bobby Stats coming in saying, "Hello, guys, how's it going, Bobby?"
I think that's the fun part about the Rumble. We can see just about anything happen because obviously, as I mentioned earlier, with the women's division, like it's a state of survival. Especially if you draw one of those early numbers. I mean, you have to do some things that maybe on an every week kind of basis you're not doing, because in that match, you just have to make sure that you are able to stay there longer. You're just trying to get there longer. You got to weather storm after storm after storm. So
And there's Stephanie.
Yes. Now, and I'm going to ask this. Do we see somebody pull an old school heel tactic, powder out of the ring, and wait for 15, 20, 30 minutes and wait to try and go back in at the end and steal the victory?
no. And I'm going to say flat out that I hate when that happens.
The only time that's ever worked was when Jerry Lawler did it in the '96 Rumble, and he only did that because Jake the Snake brought out Damien and sent Jerry hiding underneath the ring.
See, I remember The Miz doing it in a Royal Rumble as well. And I believe he was one of the final four that year and was eliminated.
I mean, Reigns did it almost every other Rumble back in his day, but
And to be fair, Vince also did it, and he ended up winning the Rumble.
well, I mean, to be fair, that
He also
went out and brawled outside of the ring for a bit too.
he also had the help of The Rock at the end as well.
But speaking of help, Stephanie Vicaire, the women's world champion, helped the team of Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss pin Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez of the Judgment Day, as we see the team of the besties get a little bit of momentum going into the Royal Rumble. As Kathy Kelly now is with the juggernaut, Jordynne Grace. But we will get to that beautiful help advertisement.
And now we have this breakdown into a brawl. But ladies and gentlemen, while we try and sort out the chaos backstage, why don't you sort out the chaos that is our everyday weekly programming?
A Turnbuckle affiliation program
Well,
is looking
first,
for more
we'll
people.
get to that.
If you have passion level for pro wrestling, sports, video games, or something else, then Turnbuckle Studios is the place to be. If you have ever wanted to pursue content creation and want to join our team, then we would love to have you. Check out turnbucklestudios.org or contact us by email today because your future is now. And we want you to tap in.
As we think OM Dynamic is searching up everything on turnbucklestudios.org/shop and going through all the applicants on that /join, we're seeing Fraxium come down, but we also want everybody to see what we have coming up every day on our schedule here. So as he's probably doing that on the toilet, because, well, let's face it, we all know what happens when he goes away for a bit. Let's check out our weekly calendar, and then hopefully OM Dynamic plops back up.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. All times are in Eastern Time. Monday nights you get the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m., followed by the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Wednesday we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Thursday we go TNA as we brace for Impact at 9 p.m. On Fridays, join us for the Smackdown security detail at 8 p.m. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. On Sunday, be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. And later that night, we have the Boar's Nest at 8 p.m. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day. And please visit turnbucklestudios.org.
And Chris Best, why don't you let everybody know about the programming change for PLE Patrol tomorrow, or just the updation in case people aren't aware what time PLE Patrol is happening tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow night, the PLE Patrol will be going on. It will be live at 8 p.m. Eastern due to the fact that, of course, we all lead a real life outside of wrestling, and we're going to be a little bit too busy at 2 p.m. Eastern to be able to do the show. So 8 p.m. Eastern is where you'll be able to check us out, and you will get our reactions to what takes place at the Royal Rumble.
That is right. I also am going to take this opportunity to let everybody know that if you live in the Edmonton, Alberta area and you want to watch the Royal Rumble live, please come to the Pint on White. That's right. It is the sister company for Beercade when international PLEs do happen. So make sure you're coming to the Pint on White. And that is a located at 8032 104 Street in Edmonton. You can join me and a bunch of other people as we watch the Royal Rumble, because we're insane and we get up early for this stuff.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you have ever wanted your break in podcasting, content creation, a potential collaboration, or just to help us out behind the scenes, turnbucklestudios.org is the place to be for all your Turnbuckle affiliation program needs. Meet the team under the host section. Mr. Best, myself, Chris Parrish, Bubba Duke, and Carl Carafel. Get our socials, watch our latest weekly live episodic shows, including this one, which will be up shortly after we go off air. Head over to the join button. Send us your credentials. Tell us how you believe you can help us, how you believe we can help you, and we will sit down as a collective and figure it out. As well, ladies and gentlemen, buy the merch. Support your favorite shows. Support your favorite podcasters. Wear what we wear at the shop link, turnbucklestudios.org/shop. All of the proceeds there come back into our studios to bring you a better experience. Turnbucklestudios.org for all your Turnbuckle affiliation program needs.
So I've got to assume that Nick Aldis told Candice LeRae that she can't be at ringside for this match.
Yep.
But I've got to say at the same time, I still don't get this feud. I understand the importance of the mask for a luchador wrestler, but it's to me, and I said this last week, it just feels like they took his mask and Axiom's like, so what? I got 500 of these at home. I think I still say like he should have come out. He still should be coming out wearing like a cheap mask or something like that, something to cover his face that isn't just a mask that he can go back home and grab.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting what this leads to, whether it is Johnny Gargano getting that new partner, or maybe we do see somebody from Fraxium turn on one another. That remains to be seen. But I don't know. I mean, it's kind of adapting on Fraxium's part, though, to always be aware that if we're talking about Johnny Gargano, he has a history of trying to go for the mask, steal the mask, and try to go there. So why not be prepared? Do we not remember when China faced Road Dogg, and China has this ability to always go for the crotch shot, that Road Dogg decided to wear a protective cup?
Yep.
Yeah.
Be a little prepared. So I don't know. I give points to Axiom here on overlay, just being a little bit aware of the situation. And it's why he's been able to get the upper advantage on Johnny Gargano when they have been in the ring. And same with Nathan Frazier.
I actually, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying Bobby Stats coming in saying he's been enjoying Johnny Gargano as a singles competitor. And also, if everybody wants to be a little bit more like him, go and like that page on YouTube. You know, give us a little give us a little notification button. Help our numbers, help our algorithm, mess with your algorithm a little bit. It's a little bit of all right.
I kind of like where you said Fraxium could split in this situation, because I just thought of this. It could happen maybe in this match, maybe in a future match or something. But imagine Nathan Frazier actually grabs the mask for Axiom, and then he turns on Axiom and hands the mask back to Gargano.
Right.
It'd be sort of like, I'm going to go old school here again, but the 96 SummerSlam, where Mankind and The Undertaker had the Boiler Room Brawl. The winner had to get to the ring first to retrieve the urn from Paul Bear, where we saw Paul Bear turn on The Undertaker that night.
I almost think this could be a great way of if Johnny Gargano is to have a say a loser leaves WWE, kind of a thing. Imagine if, because everyone's going to assume, or maybe Gargano's going to leave and join Ciampa on AEW, right? Get the people talking about this. Then all of a sudden, it's Johnny Gargano defeat Axiom. Maybe by chance it is from a mishap with Nathan Frazier. What a great way this could be to turn Axiom heel on Nathan Frazier and say Axiom might be done and reveal his unmasked character.
Right.
Because with all the, like with Rey Fenix and with Rey Mysterio, with Penta, with Dragon Lee, with the acquisition of AAA, you have more than enough masked superstars already in your company. This could be the time where it's okay to move away from the masked character that is Axiom, as during the time of creation, the WWE wasn't exactly loaded in the mask category.
Right.
Now, if that does happen, does he go back to being a kid, or does he keep the Axiom name?
I would, if loser leaves WWE, I would say Axiom is done. I would say this is an opportunity to give him something else. I don't think you go to a kid. Although, if you were to bring in Sean Waltman and to bring back a kid and put Sean Waltman as his manager, I am 100% down with that.
You know what? I'm actually all for that too, because if there is one guy who can give back to the cruiserweights, it is Waltman for sure.
I thought Gargano had it.
I haven't seen Gargano throw that move in a long time.
Gargano himself might be a little bit busted open in the mouth too.
Yeah. Now, we've speculated on a guy like The Miz. We've speculated on a potential turn between Fraxium. Is there somebody from NXT that could come up and be Gargano's partner?
I mean, I was going to say I like Ethan Page, but we've talked about men who can come in and be heaters for wrestlers. Obafemi would be a good choice there.
Okay. I was also thinking perhaps this is where you can give Gargano a new stable and you give him the NQCC.
But then there's only kind of one guy there.
Yeah.
And Gargano just got the other mask of Axiom, but I think Axiom has the blue mask anyways.
Yeah, he does that right in front of the blue mask as we see Axiom kind of go there. And now that Gargano thinks he's got one over by getting the red mask.
That was like a drop. That was like a drop super kick. A super drop kick.
The other thing I suggest with that is, do you maybe bring Charlie Dempsey and Tavion Heights or a Miles Bourne back together?
No, I don't know. There is part of me that just wants to see more Gargano by himself.
Right.
Yeah, I think.
But maybe it's this could be a way where maybe we see Axiom be the guy, and we see him kind of be the Cody Rhodes and the Hardcore Holly Ted DiBiase thing, where Gargano could say, I got a partner coming in, and the partner is it's Axiom, but yeah, Max beats up Nathan Frazier, tags in Johnny Gargano 1, 2, 3.
I didn't quite catch all of what Dragunov had said there.
Dragunov said, I'm going to beat up The Miz, and then I'm coming for you. I'm going to get the same thing I gave you. I'm not asking. I'm expecting.
He also said he didn't care if he's working with The Miz or not.
Mm-hmm. As I am at a commercial break.
Yep. But up next we are getting AJ Styles and Gunther in the ring. So yeah. In case we didn't get enough of it on Raw, it's on SmackDown again.
Right?
But yeah, no, what we are seeing right now is available March 13th, WWE 2K26. As we know, there's a King of Kings edition. There is an Attitude edition. But the cover star is your World Heavyweight Champion, CM Punk.
Yeah, and that leads to rumors that they're going to be bringing back the Attitude Era mode because he was the cover star on WWE 13, which featured the Attitude Era mode as well. Because there's also a Monday Night War edition that's coming as well.
Yeah, I think the Monday Night War edition is the Attitude.
Mm-hmm. No, there's a King of Kings one, an Attitude Era one, and a Monday Night Wars one.
Okay.
And then your standard edition.
I do know like this game's gonna have like an insane amount of playable characters on it.
Yeah, I read something like 400 wrestlers are going to be featured in it. And
Trick Willie is going to be one of them.
Mr. Iguana is going to be one of them. Because they've been doing this sort of a reveal over on the 2K website for the wrestlers you can expect. And so far, the ones I've uncovered myself is obviously CM Punk, Mr. Iguana, Mariah May, or Blake Monroe. There was a few others. AJ Lee, I've uncovered in there. I have to believe, though, that because CM Punk is the cover star, that CM Punk's career is going to be looked at as far as this year's showcase mode is.
Yes.
But that's not to say that they can't do multiple showcase modes, and I think that would be interesting if they did multiple.
I have an idea, and it is mainly based on who's coming to the ring right now. But what happens if we follow the career of one AJ Styles? And a part of these 400 members are maybe some TNA talent, as through the affiliation and the working relationship with TNA, we get maybe some TNA representation in the video game, and we see the career life of AJ Styles.
I would love for that. When we talked about the triple or the TNA WWE uniting, I think it was on an episode of Turnbuckle Talk we did last year. I said I want TNA inclusion in the video games, and last year we got Abyss, but I wanted more than just Abyss.
Yeah,
but obviously Chris Sparks, who played Abyss, who now works as an agent for WWE, he in fact does own the Abyss character, so that is why the Abyss character was allowed in the game. There was not a part of TNA kind of a thing. That I do think a lot of people did not know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right now I've got Trick Williams talking on the screen right now.
I have AJ in the ring already on the mic.
Yeah, AJ's walking to the ring.
Now, we talked a little bit earlier about the men's Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
How are we going into tomorrow with the women's Royal Rumble? Obviously, we can look in the odds, and Liv Morgan is the odds-on favorite to win. Is there somebody that we're looking at as maybe they might not be a top 3 odd, but maybe there's somebody that we should be looking at that isn't? Is there going to be a Jey Uso in the women's Rumble this year? And if so, who? And like who would be everyone's kind of pick in that category?
I like you went with that route because that's where I was thinking lately. Because Jey Uso last year was an unexpected winner. We didn't really expect he was going to win the match. And I kind of thought that route for both the men's and the women's, and my brain went to Jordan Grace for the women's.
Okay, see, for me, I'm going to go Lyra Valkyria.
Okay.
But I did have a Raw and SmackDown pick. My Raw pick to win the Rumble is, of course, Liv Morgan, which seems to be the consensus. My SmackDown pick is a returning Tiffany Stratton.
Puppy Stats coming in saying, what about Chelsea Green?
I do like that choice, Bobby. I do.
Yeah.
Given the fact that she is the women's champion right now, I will say a returning Bianca Belair could very well be somebody that could make some waves, especially if we look at the fact that it could very well be Bianca Belair challenging Jade Cargill at WrestleMania if this was the case. And I mean, it does kind of bring that story back into the fold.
And see, that makes a lot of sense too, because we've been the past couple of years, we've been wanting to see Jade and Bianca at WrestleMania.
But we also know that next Monday, we've got Stephanie Vicaire versus Raquel Rodriguez. So if Liv Morgan wins, does she challenge Raquel at WrestleMania, or does she look to challenge Jade?
I mean, I do think the Liv Stephanie Vicaire match has been teased more than just once, and I think it's something to kind of look at. But it'll be very interesting if she is to win, and say Stephanie Vicaire wins that match.
Mm-hmm.
We see that post-match attack, and Liv Morgan says, "I choose you," and there's a picture of a train. Just kidding. But if that is like kind of the route that she does go, then it'd be very intriguing, because then now all of a sudden everybody's expecting that Stephanie Vicaire is going to hold that title from February all the way to April, and even Elimination Chamber ain't going to be an issue. So I don't know if they're going to do something that quick, but
yeah,
I wouldn't hate it either.
Because that's the thing we got to think about going into these Rumble matches. Every year we got to think about this. Whoever the world champions are going into these matches, they may not be the champions come WrestleMania.
Right. And if we get the returning Tiffany Stratton, if she wins, does she challenge Jade to get her rematch? Or does she look to challenge Stephanie Vicaire and avenge her first official pin loss from 2025?
Like I said, that depends on if they have the titles by WrestleMania, because again, with Chamber around the corner, I think there's another Saturday night's main event coming up as well. Who knows if they're even going to have those belts by that time.
I'm also going to go on with, there's also a lot of times we see people eliminate people in the Rumble, and that's what your foreshadowed WrestleMania match is. And we saw it very clearly when we saw the triple threat with Seth, CM Punk, and Roman. We also saw it with Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. So it'll be very intriguing to see if those kind of scenarios could arise, because maybe Tiffany Stratton does return in the Rumble, but maybe she gets eliminated by somebody who she then goes to WrestleMania against. Right. And maybe that could be a legend. Maybe it's another surprise. Maybe it's somebody on the roster. But it'll be very intriguing to see kind of like the use there, because I think we can definitely say that the underlying stories that could arise from the women's Rumble is probably greater than it's ever been before.
I like that you went to that, where every year we do get that story where somebody's eliminated somebody, so it leads to a match at WrestleMania. I'm going out on a limb and going to predict that Brock Lesnar eliminates Gunther. And we start that build to Gunther and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
Now, I have The Miz coming out.
Oh, geez. see-
OMD or OM Dynamic, are you the same way?
No, I'm
Okay,
still
let's-
like I've just got Gunther coming out because nobody bothered to tell me when to unpause my show.
We didn't even know you paused.
I said I'm pausing so that you could catch up.
Well, I just had Gunther jumping off the apron.
Whether that's the case, when you guys have the Miz coming out, please pause it, and then we will go back and say that. At this point, I am going to once again play all 3 videos for everyone, starting with the weekly calendar. And then I'm going to go with the shop, and then I'm going to go back to the join. And I do want to let everybody know that there is a new function on our website, and we will talk about that after. So enjoy these 3 videos.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. All times are in Eastern Time. Monday nights you get the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m., followed by the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Wednesday we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Thursday we go TNA as we brace for Impact at 9 p.m. On Fridays, join us for the Smackdown security detail at 8 p.m. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. On Sunday, be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. And later that night, we have the Boar's Nest at 8 p.m. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day. And please visit turnbucklestudios.org.
A Turnbuckle Affiliation program is looking for more people. If you have passion level for pro wrestling, sports, videos games, or something else, then Turnbuckle Studios is the place to be. If you have ever wanted to pursue content creation and want to join our team, then we would love to have you. Check out turnbucklestudios.org or contact us by email today because your future is now, and we want you to tap in.
The Turnbuckle Studios store is open for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the merch and represent the best from the shows you watch on a weekly basis. Multiple styles to choose from with over 10 products available. Don't get left out and pick up all your favorites today. Find us at turnbucklestudios.org.
And ladies and gentlemen, once again, if you have ever wanted your break in podcasting, content creation, a potential collaboration, or helping us out behind the scenes, turnbucklestudios.org is the place to be for all your Turnbuckle affiliation program needs. Hit the join button to send us your credentials. Tell us how you can help us, how you believe we can help you, and we will sit down as a collective and figure out the best fit. Meet the team that you're working with, Mr. Best, Mr. Parrish, myself, Bubba Duke, and Carl Carafel. Get our socials, watch our latest weekly live episodic shows under the host section. And ladies and gentlemen, buy the merch. Support your favorite shows, support your favorite podcasters. Head over to turnbucklestudios.org/shop. Wear what we wear. All of the proceeds there come back into our studios to bring you a better experience. Turnbucklestudios.org for all your Turnbuckle affiliation program needs.
I'm looking at the stage with the Mrs. Titantron right now.
Okay, I've got Miz standing in the corner.
All right, as we're back watching the show live on time, I do want to talk about the new features of turnbucklestudios.org, and that is when you are in that stage of meeting the team, you can click that member and it'll go straight to their socials. So in case you want to follow anybody in part of Turnbuckle Studios, that is a very simple way while being on turnbucklestudios.org. And that's right. We also do not want you to have to worry about the spelling of the Redbubble website, so we made it easier for everyone. All you have to do is turnbucklestudios.org/shop. There's a button to do so, and there is so many different ways to check it out, and you can go in that website and you can find out who you want to go by just clicking a button. It is very simple. We're making it very easy, and if you have any other questions about what we could do to help you out, just let us know And there is a page on that website to do so. And all you have to do is let us know and tap it.
But before we saw the Miz coming to the ring, I had an interesting theory that came up to my head. So we saw Tama Tonga and we saw Shinsuke Nakamura interact again backstage, this time with Tama Tonga and the tag team titles. Now we know Evil from New Japan is on his way. I'm beginning to think that Nakamura is gonna bring Evil in, and they're gonna be a tag team going after the tag team titles.
And I do believe that the challenge was set for next week with Shinsuke and Tama Tonga too in that promo. So I'm just another match advertised for next week: Shinsuke Nakamura and Tama Tonga, which I think we can all agree it's about time.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be U.S. title implications there, but because Tama showed interest in the U.S. title, but he's got the tag titles now, so
Yep. But that could be a spot for a JC Mateo or a Tala Tonga to step in.
Now, I will kind of go you one more intriguing, I guess, just to have some fun with this. What if Solo Sikoa decides to kick out a member and then bring them in with Evil, which, by the way, we do know is in talks, has not officially signed with WWE yet.
Well, that's where I was going. I was going to say Evil tag teams with Nakamura. But I got another friggin' commercial.
Dude, you and commercials.
I know. Commercial 4 of 6.
So I do have the Miz right now with Dragunov down on the mat. I have to ask, because I've said it, Dragunov, I feel, is pound for pound the best wrestler and fighter in the WWE. Are we looking at the newer version of Claudio Castagnoli, formerly known as Cesaro, in Dragunov?
No, I think we're looking at Dragunov.
I think Dragunov is going to be just a different version of
what
we know. I mean, it's very simple for us to always want to compare because it just makes it a lot simpler for us to kind of understand kind of what there is. Because a lot of the talent that we see are just so unique in a lot of ways. We kind of want to just ballpark what it reminds us of. So that's why we compare. And I see that. I see what you mean about that. But Dragunov does it in a very technical standpoint, which we don't see a lot of fighters do that in a technical way. If anything, that's a very Kurt Angle like quality where he does do that. We don't see him in the backstage segments having the brawls. We don't see that right now. We do see him more in that fighting from a technical standpoint. So I get a lot of Kurt Angle vibes there, but at the same time, I see this fighting warrior spirit that he has that is just a little bit different. And you can go with a Chad Gable at too in that. And then when you have somebody who punches kind of above their weight class a little bit, I mean, isn't that Sami Zayn to a T?
Yeah.
So what I see out of Ilya Dragunov is his own unique skill, but it does have qualities from so many different people that's what makes him unique, is the fact that he is able to be different than anybody individually because he does have so many things. If anything, he has a style that is just very believable. And I think that really, when he's in the ring, you know it's going to be real. And I think very few people have that. And the one person I think that you can never say that, or you can never not say that to, is Brock Lesnar.
Okay.
I just saw the commercial for for Roman Reigns and his announcement to for the Royal Rumble. I can't figure out what his path to WrestleMania is this year.
Yeah, that's the funny one. Does he go up against a CM Punk? Do we see the Zebras fight? Or does he go up against Cody for a third time? Because I'm going to be the first one to say I don't think him and Cody need the title if they're doing it a third time.
They don't.
No, because it'd be like Rock and Austin, right? Because their first two matches were title, but their third Mania match wasn't.
It also could be the catalyst of Cody turning to kind of make it like, okay. But
now, admittedly, I don't really want Roman Cody again this quickly.
No, I was going to say, I think the right plan is to have who they've been kind of teasing us with. I think Braun Breaker, Roman Reigns should be the WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Braun Breaker needs to win a title at WrestleMania. I think he needs a big time headlining feud and big time match. And then you're looking at him as a big time thing. Because I'm going to go with a past experience. And I think that's exactly why the first world title reign of Randy Orton fell flat, is because as much as we liked the fact that he won it, we didn't view him as a main eventer yet. Yeah. We knew it was coming, just not now. Braun Breaker is a main eventer now. He just isn't a guy that we're used to seeing go up against the big guys. And I think a Roman Reigns at WrestleMania gets him there.
Right. And see, for me, and I do like Braun, but I don't see him as that main eventer yet. I don't think he should have had that title shot on January 5th.
Okay, so right now I've had the start of the match. Dragunov got hyped, and now there's a collar and elbow tie-up. Miz has got a side headlock. Now there's the overhand wrist lock. Both men are down.
All right, so should we pause again?
No. Pause after the match, and then just we'll say something, and then we'll go again.
For me, I think that thing that kick-started to getting that match, it started with Logan Paul turning on CM Punk. But we've also seen Bronson Reed have those two matches where he defeated Roman Reigns, and I think that Bronson Reed should actually be that guy to challenge and step up for that title at WrestleMania.
Oh, okay, I thought you were still going to Roman Reigns. I'm like, why would Bronson want to challenge Roman after beating him twice?
No, I mean, no, and I think that's the strength of the vision right now. It could be anybody, and I know they've collectively come together and say, "Oh, we think it should be Braun Breaker." But what happens if Braun Breaker is the first one eliminated? Yeah. What happens to the vision then? And I think that's kind of the big thing. And here's another important: if Brock Lesnar's in there, does he care about the vision?
Right.
Could Braun Breaker and Brock Lesnar be a WrestleMania match?
That's a possibility, but at the same time, I do want Lesnar to kind of stay away from Heyman for a bit.
I know, but if you want to make Braun Breaker a main event guy, eventually he has to fight the main event guys.
Mm-hmm.
And moments like this make a lot of sense, and then you can maybe target SummerSlam for an eventual Gunther Lesnar kind of a thing.
Yeah.
In Minnesota, and that's where the proposed possible last match of Lesnar could be. And we keep going into that thing too with Gunther.
And that's exactly where I was going to go. I've heard that Lesnar is potentially retiring at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's where, like, if let's say AJ does win the match tomorrow night, you could still go to Gunther and AJ at Mania with Gunther wanting that rematch with AJ.
If AJ beats Gunther tomorrow, I think it's very simple. You'd have a moment with them in the Rumble. And we don't carry that over till Mania. I don't think we need that all the way to Mania. I think if we're going to do a WrestleMania match with AJ Styles, that's going to be his last WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And I do think we got to take out and count if he does not retire tomorrow. Think about what happened on Monday and how there was not a true winner between CM Punk and AJ Styles, and the fact that of all people to mess that up, it was Finn Balor. I think everything is very specific there. And I do think we're going to get an AJ Styles, Finn Balor, CM Punk match again down the road. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's WrestleMania if by chance AJ Styles does not retire tomorrow.
And if that's the case, that's your show stealing match of the weekend more than likely.
Especially if it's Finn and AJ at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to go this route. I'm going to say this. I think AJ wins tomorrow night. I don't think he wins clean. He's not going to cheat, but I think that is where you get that huge rumored return of Chris Jericho to create the distraction for Gunther.
Oh, I got you one better. I have you one better. I've thought about this. What if, because this started by Gunther really mocking everyone. What if when Gunther thinks he has it in the bag, we hear John Cena's music and who pops out? Ron Cena. And it's a distraction for AJ Styles to get the 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then now you have a reason for that third match. And then right after that's done, you now have a reason for Gunther to do something right after. Because what would be more in your head if you're Gunther in a match like this and you're trying to really do something bigger after retiring John? You'd be so absolutely mind you know what if you heard John Cena's music one more time.
Yeah, and that's where again I'd want to take truth out some way. In some way or another. But I kind of want to go back to Roman Reigns because I kind of had this thought as I mentioned, as you mentioned, Braun Breaker possibly being the one to take on Roman. Every year when The Undertaker was wrestling, we always had that who's going to challenge The Undertaker moment. Could we be getting that with Roman now?
No, because I think if there's one thing we can take with Roman Reigns on the McAfee show today, if people did see it, he still very much wants to be involved in creative stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there has to be more to it. I don't think he's there of being a. I don't think he is Las Vegas in the wrestling community where Undertaker was.
Right.
People were just happy to get to the destination and that was it.
Yeah.
I don't think Roman Reigns is there. I don't think he's that as an attraction.
I think that Roman Reigns is still there's still a clear direction for him, even though we see him as an attraction.
Yeah.
That's
what I mean. Like every pay-per-view, it's a special moment. So we could very well end up to that point where every year Roman only shows up and has a match at Mania.
Yeah, but I don't think we're going to get that from Roman. I think when he's ready to hang it up, he's going to hang it up on his terms. I don't see him being as, somebody there. I mean, we know he doesn't have the streak that The Undertaker did, but I think that there's always a clear direction for him, whether it's to the title or whether it's to help to elevate somebody like he did with Bronson Reed last year, like he could potentially do with Braun Breaker or whomever it is. Do we see a potential returning Seth Rollins tomorrow? And do we get a Roman and Seth versus
Seth had already said he's gone for another 4 or 5 months.
He's also said that he was injured and then we saw him cash in his money in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
But where are you guys at right now?
I've got MFTs on my screen.
You're supposed to pause after the match.
I did.
Man. Okay. Where are you?
The match. I'm still at the match. German
Okay.
suplex from Dragunov.
All right. So, as we know where I'm dynamic, or I know where I'm at, we will wait for you best. So, the one big question I have then coming out of the Royal Rumble tomorrow, because obviously everything we're seeing now just leads to the Royal Rumble, leads to next Friday, all that stuff. So, one thing I have to ask, because we have talked about Rumble matches, we have talked about the AJ Gunther stuff, we have talked about everything but Drew and Sammy. How do we find this playing out? And are people, if they were to challenge for the undisputed title, are they challenging Drew McIntyre or are they challenging Sami Zayn? Or do we see a change tomorrow? Is there going to be a title change at the Royal Rumble? Where are we on our thoughts on that road?
I mean, I love you, Sammy, but I think Drew takes it. I think Drew's got. If Drew is to retain till WrestleMania, Drew's got that WrestleMania star power. I don't think Sammy's quite there. And I know Sammy's headlined WrestleMania, but I just don't think he's there yet for that.
I don't see Sammy winning the title. I see Sammy winning the match. Drew's going to do something to get disqualified. I could see that happen. Sammy then re-enters into the Rumble, gets there, or Sammy wins the Chamber, gets that WrestleMania rematch where he loses, but then you can build to Raw next year or WrestleMania next year in Riyadh again. And have Sammy potentially win then.
I'm going to go with the theory. Just having some fun. What if Sami Zayn wins the title tomorrow?
Okay.
Then right away, we have Cody Rhodes wanting a rematch. We want Drew McIntyre wanting a rematch. We got Randy Orton wanting a shot. Jacob Fatu's there. Right. And I go back. Once again, this very well could be your chamber match. Whoever you want to put as champion going to Mania, you can. But what happens if right now, with the chaotic scene that does revolve around that world title, what happens if we do see a little bit of musical chairs right now and we give Sami Zayn that moment? Maybe it is shortly.
I just got the end of the match.
Awesome.
Dragunov is celebrating in the ring right now, though.
Okay.
There's the MFTs.
So my Raw cut out, and now it's going back to January 19th.
Well, then get that back and we'll go. But we'll just say there's about a half hour left. So I do love the fact that Tama Tonga is the only one who's holding the title, as obviously Solo is the other champion. Do we see Solo pass on the title to somebody else?
That's the one thing I've been wondering is, do they do the Freebird rule actually with these tag titles?
Oh God, I hate myself because I just got the answer as I said that.
Oh.
Are you back with us on Dynamic?
Nope.
I just paused at Solo handing off the tag titles.
That's why, because I was actually being an idiot and hitting Raw.
Yeah, that is that. But everybody, this is exactly why we do it. Well, we do it because if we were to do this live, do you know how? Obviously, it'd be a little bit simpler. But if we weren't gonna do this, this is why we're not fans of international Smackdowns and Raws. People see the problems they come up. That is another reason why we want you to go to turnbucklestudios.org/join so you can help just with the chaos that is ensuing here.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
OMD, what are you looking at?
okay, words would help.
I am listening to Solo talk.
Okay. Now,
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if this leads to a giant winner take all in terms of the titles and stuff like that.
Well, right now, I was going to say, I'm glad you mentioned the Wyatts because I'm getting interruptions from the Wyatt during this, the Wyatts during this thing. And there's the Wyatt 6.
But if we have a group mentality, a group fight, say it is at WrestleMania, the Wyatts versus the MFTs. Winner gets everything. Maybe the losing faction goes to another show. Maybe the tag titles are defended in a 4-on-4 type of scenario. But you have to wonder what is the end game with this feud. Are the tag team titles the catalyst here? It is the lamp the catalyst? Like we have to know what is the ultimate prize that these two groups will fight over to risk it all over.
And the Wyatt 6 going into this feud have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So this is going to be a dangerous Wyatt 6 that the MFTs would be up against.
It absolutely is. To answer your question, Parrish, I think that the lantern is the end game.
But at that point, you are saying the lantern is more. It's viewed more than the tag titles, which I don't know if that's a good thing.
Well, you got to look at it like it's more of like Uncle Howdy trying to get back the essence of his brother. So it's more about family than it is about the titles.
Right.
Okay, in that sense.
But then why, as a Wyatt 6 fan, do we want to see the tag titles come back if the view is the lantern?
I think.
Like, do you understand where I'm kind of going?
I think the lantern is the primary focus. The tag team titles may be the way to get there, or vice versa. I asked Mr. Best a few weeks ago, do we hold that lantern in the same reverence that we hold the urn?
In the eyes of Bray Wyatt, yes. Or in the eyes of Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy, yes. But I see where you're coming from, Parrish, because now it's making it seem like the tag titles are secondary, when in essence they really shouldn't be.
It's almost getting into that conversation of, was the Ula Fala more important than the titles that Roman Reigns had? And that's where it's like, okay, where is your ego going? Where is your better court? Where is your vision? Sorry, I just had to.
Right.
But it's one of those things where I have to really look at. I don't want to see the tag titles get devalued because they're not looked at as the big prize. As I just don't think that is a smart move. If that's the case, then the tag titles need to be away from this feud.
Right. Now, I'm going to suggest something again as we do see the vision coming to the ring. We're seeing a lot of the faction wars again, right? Whether it's the Judgment Day, the Vision. And I know it's something that we don't necessarily want to see, but are we looking at these factions being built for the idea of a trios title?
No.
No, I don't want more belts in the WWE. But I
Not
think
we're
I
just
think
talking about how we're not sure if the tag titles are the
Yeah.
primary focus of this feud. And why are we even talking about Trios title? Because if that's the case, where are they going to be in the important field?
But I think the reason why we saw Solo hand off the tag titles or his half of the tag title is because we're more than likely just going to get Uncle Howdy versus Solo. Because again, I go back to Tama Tonga and Shinsuke Nakamura, and I think that's where again Shinsuke and Evil are going to come in and have that feud for the tag belts.
But at the same time, though, like if he is involved in the tag titles, that could be how Tama Tonga loses the tag titles back to the either Wyatt Six or somebody else when they're focused on the tag titles. Is right now we're seeing one half of the Raw tag title is being represented, and this is kind of where I'm at. Like, I'm gonna have to pose this: is putting the tag titles on the MFTs or the Wyatt Six during this feud a mistake if we're going to talk about a lantern being the major prize in the same breath, knowing that Jim Uso is going to be away for things, was putting the titles on the Usos the right move?
And see, again, that's a bit of a double-edged sword because I bet when they decided to put the tag titles on the Usos, they probably didn't know that Jimmy had to take or was going to take emergency time off, but in retrospect, it more than likely was.
My guess is
weeks after though.
My guess is they probably did know that Jim needed the time off. They probably had the tentative due date. So I am going to say that yes, I don't think that they intended for the Usos to actually keep the belts this long.
They've only been champs for like less than a month.
Yeah, I was going to say then why put the belts on Jimmy if they knew he was going to take time off?
That's my point. This is why I feel very certain that after Monday we could see new champions in Otis and Tozawa, and I don't think it should be a shock because I just don't think there is a sure thing there.
Yeah, and that's where again, OMD and I have talked about like outliers in matches, and a lot of outliers have been winning matches lately.
Yeah.
Otis and Tozawa are definitely outliers, and they won that number one contenders match last week. We didn't expect that to happen.
No. Now, I'm going to ask this one because we don't, of course, know Naomi's official due date. Is there a chance that that match gets postponed because of Baby Uso?
Well, if you can do it on Raw right away, I think that's probably the best case scenario.
Yeah, and to be fair, if I remember correctly, the reason why Jimmy did miss out this past Monday was because of the travel issues, because of the storm. So
that, and then Jey Uso did go up on a show saying that, or like a podcast or whatever, saying that he is tending to his wife.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be. I don't think it would be much for Jimmy to fly in and do one episode of Raw and then go back to doing what he was doing.
I don't think the intention was for him to be at Raw to begin with. I don't think he was ever penciled in to be a part of the show. But I mean, I say kind of the same thing. Is there like was that win out of Tozawa and Otis a reason to take the titles off the Usos just as a way of the situation? But then I also have to ask, is there an outlier team on SmackDown right now who could maybe take the titles off the MFT because of this ongoing feud with the Wyatts, that just so those tag titles don't get lowered?
Yeah.
In perspective.
And see, that's where I think that if Evil does sign the deal with WWE, I think it's Evil and Nakamura that could do it. But right now, I hate to say this, but it feels like the males tag team division just really hasn't been showcased all that well. on SmackDown.
There hasn't been a need for it because
Yeah.
the tag titles were in a picture already.
I'm going to give you an outlier tag team, and we're actually seeing two of those men in this match. And I'm going to suggest Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton.
I think we're looking along the lines of established tag teams and not throw together tag teams to win the belts, though.
But let's give him a reason to why he
Yeah.
did that before we.
Well, we do have, I mean, there's their well-known history. I mean, you talked about a thrown together tag team. That's Evil and Nakamura.
Is true.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you could see it, especially if we don't go to Cody and Roman at WrestleMania. What do we do with Cody? What do we do with Randy? Well, now all of a sudden, wait a minute. We both want some gold. Let's go and get the tag team titles and reestablish a semblance of legacy.
I mean, it's not that far off based on what Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens did a couple of years ago. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
And to be fair, you could go to Cody Randy too at WrestleMania. I mean, they've already had one other match at WrestleMania against one another that featured Ted DiBiase as well. And Chaos right off the get-go on this 8-man tag.
And they didn't even wait for Cody Rhodes.
Oh, see, I've only got Sammy at the top of the rope. There's the Chaos. Yep.
That's old school Attitude Era right there. Because remember, they used to do that where all the other members but one member of the tag team would be in, and then suddenly the theme would hit and the other wrestler would come out.
You mean as we're getting right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he's saying it. Now, I don't want to see this, but it's a possibility if, say, Jimmy Uso does go away because he has to be a dad. Could we see Sami Zayn be the replacement?
It could be. But that also brings up the question, if Jimmy is taking time off, and let's say the time off leads to past WrestleMania, what's the WrestleMania path for Jay?
I really wouldn't hate an Aleister Black match.
I actually like that too, because that's a great way to boost Aleister. If we're keeping it on Raw, that could be a very good way of putting him back with Roman. And that's where Jey Uso can finally get a big win over Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
I love how we have all these questions and most of them are going to be answered tomorrow.
Right?
Not most.
Good chunk of them will be.
Some.
But the ones that are answered, those answers are just going to create more questions.
As Roddy Piper used to say, you think you have the answers? Well, I just changed the question.
Well, and as someone we think could be happening or could be coming back tomorrow, the answer is in the code, but the code could be the answer.
Yep.
And that's just the thing. You always have to factor in like what could be, like who could be. And right now I'm like, hey, like on the Raw tag team side, why can't we do Austin Theory and Logan Paul as a tag team and go that route?
I 100% want that.
I'm even going to suggest this one, even though he said it at Survivor Series that this was the last time he tagged, these two tagged. What about going to a Roman and Cody tag team against the Vision if Seth Rollins isn't cleared? Or, again, a 6-man?
I just don't think I really don't think Roman is going to be in a tag match or WrestleMania.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's enough marquee around Roman that you can put him in a one-on-one match.
Right.
And we do have to assume that Seth Rollins probably is going to be ready for WrestleMania. That's going to have to factor in. Is he going to be there tomorrow? I think the question is we just have to wait and see because we just don't know.
The other thing too, and something that was widely speculated a couple of weeks ago is that Dwayne is being offered his largest ever payday for WrestleMania next year.
I don't think he does it.
Do we maybe get that confrontation this year, whether it's tomorrow or not, to set up that match?
Okay,
Get Roman
I'm going to
involved.
answer this with probably not, but I do like where you're going with. Are we going to get something at the first Royal Rumble in Saudi to tie into the first WrestleMania in Saudi? That could have some legs to it. I think it's a little far-fetched, but it's not out of the realm.
I'm just because of The Rock suddenly like dropping all his muscle mass. I think he's done.
No, man. He wants the X Division title. He's going to TNA.
He's going to travel back in time and win the 205 Live title.
He's going to take Eric Young's contract that he got from the Feast or Fired match, and he's going to become X Division champ. And then him and his daughter, who's going to join the TNA, are going to go up against Santino and his daughter. It's a thing. Trust me on that. I read the internet. And I know what's up.
Now you mean Ava's not going to be all elite?
No. Total nonstop Ava. All right, that's what I'm predicting.
I like it. I like it.
Tia Ava.
But as that being said, we do want to wish the best for Simone Garcia Johnson, aka Ava, on her tenure with WWE.
It had a rocky start, but it finished strong, in my opinion.
He was a very good NXT general manager, and I'm very curious on what they're going to do in NXT to replace that. I hope it's not Robert Stone.
No.
He is now my new what's her name? Dana Brooke. Yep. He's now the Dana Brooke in my eyes.
Watch, it's going to be Robert Stone.
I guarantee it's going to be. It makes sense. I'm not going to lie. I just don't like it. I want Regal back. All right. I
do too, but I'm going to put a name out there. What about Gabe Sapolsky, who is already the lead booker for Evolve?
Does he carry enough cachet that people will know who he is, though?
Did Ava?
She built up that cachet before she became the GM.
I mean, I think under the WWE banner, you can do it fairly quickly. And it's a GM. Nobody's going to care that much.
Do we go the Stephanie McMahon route?
No.
Well, right. I don't know. Right now, Austin Theory might be looking at 3 letters.
DDT?
ATL?
Randy Keith Orton, RKO. But that's not the case because Logan Paul just interrupted. He got tossed over. But I wanted to say something that I've noticed this in the last couple of weeks. I'm probably just noticing this because I just saw the wrestler wrestle live a couple weeks ago, but Bronson Reed kind of reminds me of AJ Sanchez in the ring.
Okay, I see it.
Nobody outside of Canada will know that reference.
That's
Yep.
right.
Maybe AJ Sanchez is pretty good.
Well, if they do tune into our CWE shows that we do on Turnbuckle Studios.
In theory, did eat the RKO, but again, Logan Paul made the save.
And
We are seeing a lot of Logan
Oh.
Paul and Austin Theory tendencies in this match.
Yes.
It makes you wonder if that is a direction moving forward.
And that's the other thing too, is every time that Austin Theory has had a match, or every time Logan Paul has had a match, Logan Paul or Austin Theory have been sent out to help the other one. Oh, and there is Drew McIntyre. And this match has been called off.
Okay, you're ahead of me, Best. So,
I'm there.
and I just got it. So,
This stage is surreal. That
Uh-oh. Oh, Jacob Fatu. You gotta know with Jacob Fatu lately, he likes to attack from behind.
yep.
what we're getting right now is like you talked about it earlier with the attitude, like kind of like attitude or ask with some of the similarities with the chaos of the match ensues, and then you get your top baby face coming out just to get everybody going, yeah, and then all of a sudden we're going. Now we're getting that post-match chaos as well. And what that is bringing us is just a complete understanding of like how chaotic the Rumble's going to be. As we saw in the match, everyone's throwing people over the ropes, right?
Right.
We're getting ready to the Rumble.
Yeah.
Well, as
now
we're
we're
looking,
seeing Drew McIntyre cause the disqualification by beating up on Sami Zayn. And then all this chaos is now leading us to Sami Zayn getting one up now on Drew.
yes.
And
Well, and I was going to say, as we're looking at all of this chaos, do we potentially look at a situation going into WrestleMania like we had all those years ago with Benoit and Shawn Michaels going back and forth on who's challenging, all to get that triple threat, and now we go to a four-way with Cody, Drew, Sammy, and Jacob.
I'm gonna let you watch what's happening.
Yeah, because
really behind.
I like that.
I see the eyes go.
We fade to black, and I've got the red in.
But let re-ask that question now, since we're now at the end of the show.
So could we potentially see, with what we've just seen in that chaos, could we see something like we saw a number of years ago with Chris Benoit and Shawn Michaels as to who was going to face Triple H for the title to lead to a four-way with Cody, Drew, Jacob, and Sammy at WrestleMania?
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, that led to that was the first time that somebody had jumped ship to challenge somebody else on another roster, because Benoit was a SmackDown wrestler at the time when he made that deal to wrestle Triple H. Yes, I can't remember how Shawn Michaels got into it though.
That was also the catch though too, right? When you won the Rumble or whatever, you then could challenge any champion. Therefore, your where you stand on your brand didn't matter. Yeah. So if you challenge for the Raw title, you're then now a Raw guy too. You can go on. I remember they did make that a known thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I believe Sean was feuding with Triple H, and Benoit and Sean had a match to see who was going to get it. That got thrown out. They both showed up and they both signed the contract. Then they looked at each other and said, we're both passionate. The only thing we have to make sure is Triple H doesn't win.
Yeah, and then I think too it was more when Eddie defeated Brock for that other title, he wanted to go after the title that he was always chasing in WCW, the World Heavyweight title, big gold. I mean, there's a lot there. But to kind of bring that more in the modern-esque of thing, it's why I suggested an elimination chamber, because in a weird way you could connect 6 people right there. Like you got Cody, you got Jacob Fatu, you got Drew. That's half of it already. You put Sami Zayn in there because does it not make logical sense that both Jacob Fatu and Cody Rhodes could get involved in this match since Drew McIntyre got involved in theirs?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that chaos could lead to Sami Zayn ultimately winning a title. Like, it makes sense. And then you always have the Viper right there. He's been just around. And that's your 5. All you have to do is put in one more, and you could have a qualifying match, or say like, we just had the Royal Rumble to determine who's going to be who could challenge to WrestleMania. But right here, right now, we're going to do an over-the-top rope battle royal to determine the final spot of Elimination Chamber.
But
you can have Trick Williams win that.
Right. But I mean, that's where you could actually essentially add in J2, who's, family with Jacob. He's got his history with Cody, his history with Sammy going back to the bloodline taking out Randy Orton.
Like, that's just the thing. You can have fun with this, and then guess what? It's all intertwined, and inside a chamber, everything makes sense.
Yep.
It could actually give you a great chamber match. And for the first time, we're looking at 6 people in a chamber match that have a reason to hit each other as much and as hard as they want, and they want to do damage. Like, it actually makes sense. When was the last time we had a chamber match where everyone hated each other?
Right.
I might say the first chamber that I can think of, really.
It's been a while. Like, so I think it's right there. It's the easiest booking ever when it just writes itself.
I mean, if you look at the way chamber matches have been booked lately, it's mostly been like, hey, these 2 guys hate each other, these 2 guys hate each other, and these 2 guys hate each other. Let's just put them all in the chamber.
Yeah.
So now that you have this large pool, why not go with it?
Yeah.
But we're all now finally for a while at the same part.
Yeah.
End of the show.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start with the person who finished last to complete the show in OM Dynamic. And I'm going to ask what your favorite part of the show is. And let's also add a little bit of fun. What are you most looking forward to tomorrow? Because we all got that Rumble fever going on, as well as promote yourself, because we are those kinds of people.
We do. I think my favorite part of tonight's show, I mean, it was a fantastic show all around. It just flowed. Yes, it was chaos. It was anarchy. That's all comes to a head tomorrow. I've still got to say that probably that U.S. title match was probably my favorite aspect of the show. Very close second was Dragunov and The Miz. Tomorrow, I am looking forward to figuring out our road to WrestleMania. I'm looking forward to these surprise returns. And I think the answer to AJ Gunther, first and foremost. But ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for me, you can follow me on the socials or under the host section at turnbucklestudios.org. But follow me at my link tree, linktr.ee/OMD show.
And now the man who has Saturday Night Gaming live tomorrow. Don't know what, probably earlier in the day, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm going to do it at 3 p.m. tomorrow, programming note, guys. My moment was definitely that ending, the way everything went. It had Attitude Era vibes written all over it. The entire 8-man tag just had Attitude Era vibes all over it. And I was all in. I was all in on that matchup. Tomorrow night, though, I mean, every year I look forward to them. The Royal Rumble matches in general. I look forward to them. I look forward to the surprises. It's going to be hard for me to avoid social media tomorrow, but I think I'll be able to do it as long as I'm gaming. I'll be fine. But if you want to look for me, my link tree is linktr.ee/Chris_best83. And over to you, Mr. Parrish.
Yeah. Now, what I loved about tonight is just honestly the chaos. Like, let's face it. What are we used to for the Royal Rumble? It's chaos, right? We don't know who's going to come out. We don't know what's going to happen. And that's exactly what we got. We got a little bit of the unknown, and that's exactly what I want going into the Royal Rumble. So I love how this show really fed into it. It was that go-home show that it might actually be one of the better go-home shows we've seen in quite a while. And what I'm looking forward to tomorrow is just the decision, because I was absolutely stunned last year with the decision with Jey Uso being the Royal Rumble winner. Are we going to see something similar? Because I said it last year. Are the WWE going in a pot where they're going to put more of the first timers in the Royal Rumble and more of the established stars in the Money in the Bank? Sure enough, Jey Uso wins the Royal Rumble. Seth Rollins wins Money in the Bank. So I'm curious, what direction is going to happen? What are we going to see? Is AJ Styles going to retire? Tell us, please. It's a no. We don't want to see it at the Royal Rumble. We don't want to see it 30 some odd days into the year. We want to see a long year for the phenomenal one. Where you can catch me is on my link tree at Chris Parrish. You can check all of my stuff out there, all my socials, especially the show that I have every Sunday, 12:15 p.m. Eastern Time, the Chris Parrish Podcast. Come check it out. Got a new logo. We're doing some things. We're making some waves. But if you want to watch the Royal Rumble with me in the Edmonton, Alberta area, or if you're not and you just want to make the travel, you can go to the Pint on White. That's right. You're used to me saying Beercade, but Beercade is partnering up with the Pint on White because they show the international shows. So if you want to go to the Pint on White, located at 8032 104th Street in Edmonton, Alberta, 104th Ave, that is where they're going to show at noon local time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. But if you're in Edmonton, you want the local time, so come check that out.
And on those, and as we say goodbye, OMD, on this Royal Rumble Eve, what are those famous words we like to go out on?
Ladies and gentlemen, always remember the world is better with you in it. From all of us here at Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, to those of you out there wherever you are, good night, good luck, we out.
I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow. Fading away, you look so great when you gotta shine. One more thought of you is gone now, as you keep smiling at the crowd.